In the immediacy of everything, having lost my job, I just wanted to hunker down. I was ready for a lockdown.
France now closing all schools and universities, and sobering words from the French president tonight, calling the coronavirus the most serious health crisis in a century.
All of Italy now, in effect, quarantined. Prime Minister Conte saying people should not move other than for work and emergencies.
At this point, the world was preparing to hunker down. Every country was going into lockdown. And yeah, I remember going into the supermarket late that night and there was just nothing on the shelves. It had all gone. Completely wiped clean. There's literally nothing. It's all gone. This is the meat. Jesus Christ, everything's literally gone. Do you want some bread?
Yeah.
I'll just go get some bread. Oh. There's no bread. There's literally not one piece of bread. Oh, maybe there's a bit down here. And no surprises here. A vast majority of the beer section gone. But this is the stuff I like anyway over here, so happy days. Quite like this at the moment. Hazy Jane. Fuck it, I'll have a bit of that. And maybe the old classic, but I can't get two. I've lost my job. Gotta start saving money. So one beer it is. Treat myself. I think Layla at this point had realised that I needed cheering up and we had opted for pizza. Layla, should we buy some now? Hawaiian pizza is the best, pineapple on pizza, it's a yes, every time, the best.
And for those people saying that pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, you are wrong.
It does.
It does.
So basically we have pizza night every Friday because we finish the working week and it's like, yeah, let's have pizza, it's nice, we look forward to it. It's Wednesday night tonight, but oh yeah, can you put some cheese on? But technically this is the end of my working week. So here's to freelancing.
Yep. You'll be fine.
Europe's open borders are closing. Germany joins a growing list of EU countries to at least partially shut out their neighbours.
Madrid in shutdown. Shops, bars and restaurants all closed. The streets of the Spanish capital, normally bustling with locals and tourists, now eerily quiet.
One by one, each country in Europe and different countries around the world were all locking down, and the UK was next. That's exactly where we were heading. There were rumours about the army being on the streets. Everything was going to shut. It was bizarre. With the whole country going into lockdown, you had millions of people staring at financial ruin. There were so many people about to lose their jobs.
That when parts of society shut down, sectors of the economy do too, from aviation to car production. And while right now the health emergency is obviously the priority, when companies run out of cash, they can't pay people, they have to lay workers off.
I saw it at my own workplace where in one day they just gathered everyone together and they basically said,
it's very apparent what's going on in the world right now and how that's impacting on, particularly where we're concerned, the UK economy. We've made no secret over the course of this, the last few days, that there's been an immediate downturn in business. It's not just our business, it's every business in the country and pretty much in the world right now that's been affected. I've just been into Tesco's Kingsmead. I don't know why I bothered, there was no food, there was no nothing. The woman next to me was telling how her employer had texted her to say that she was laid off without pay for 8 weeks. We don't want to do that with anybody, but we do have to take quite drastic action from today to save the business. We are now in a situation where if we go down into lockdown as a country, we will cease trading.
Because it'll be an uncharted territory for everyone, and the problem is now everybody's going to go into a state of fear that nobody's going to pay anything. That's going to be the main thing, and businesses will literally, the majority of businesses will grind to a complete halt, which is shit, for being honest. I wish there was I wish I could tell you a load of things that were positive.
People were in tears. Complete devastation. Like, we all collectively suffered this car crash. There's a lot of people in the office were getting told about the situation and how basically they no longer have a job, and it came as a shock to a lot of people there. It's so heartbreaking. You know, those are my workmates and those are people that I love as friends, and you know, I spend a lot of time with them in my working life. Every day I'm there in the office. They're good friends. And it was very hard to see that happen. There was so much stress and anxiety and confusion about what was going on. You know, it's hard to put into words, really. It was just a complete shit show of a week. We are in the middle of locking down now. The gyms, the restaurants, the bars, all closed.
Good afternoon. The economic intervention that I'm announcing today is unprecedented in the history of the British state.
At the end of that week, Friday, March the 20th, the UK Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, he made a speech, and it was a big moment, it was a big deal, because he came out and announced this thing called the furlough scheme.
I have a responsibility to make sure that we protect as far as possible people's jobs and incomes. Today, I can announce that for the first time in our history, the government is going to step in and help to pay people's wages. We're setting up a new coronavirus job retention scheme. Any employer in the country, small or large, charitable or non-profit, will be eligible for the scheme. Employers will be able to contact HMRC for a grant to cover most of the wages of people who are not working but are furloughed and kept on payroll rather than being laid off.
And he basically saved millions of people's jobs at that moment.
Our plan for people's jobs and incomes will protect people's jobs, offer more generous support to those who are without employment, strengthen the safety net for those who work for themselves, and help people stay in their homes.
The idea was that rather than businesses just firing everyone, like it happened to me and some of my colleagues, everyone would be able to receive this furlough pay from the government, like a big safety net, and then hopefully everyone could go back to their jobs after the pandemic was over. That was the plan.
That means workers in any part of the UK can retain their job even if their employer cannot afford to pay them, and be paid at least 80% of their salary.
Because I'd already lost my job, I remember watching this and feeling a little bit devastated, to be honest, because I was watching this thinking, fuck, like, I've just missed out on this safety net, like, I'm still screwed. I was obviously happy for my mates and people I knew, but yeah, I just remember being pretty...
So dramatic.
Pretty gutted. I don't know what the word is. Angry. There was all this. It was just a complete whirlwind of a week, you know, complete roller coaster. I was exhausted by it by the end of that week.
Just stepped outside for a moment, just to get some fresh air. It's Friday night now. That is one of the most stressful, if not the most stressful week of my life, and maybe one of the most craziest weeks of my life I'll ever have. It's hard to process, it's hard to put into words, it's hard to get your head around what's happened, you know, like to go from normality to where we are now in such a short space of time, where everything you knew has just been turned upside down. It's just hard to process. It's crazy. But basically the whole time the speech was going on, he was talking about people who've got jobs, and I realised I received confirmation today that I've been sacked, and I had my P45, which is basically an official document saying you've lost your job, sort of thing. So in my head, this whole time this was happening, the speech, I was thinking, well, I don't have a job, so I'm not covered by this. And it was kind of like dawning on me that I'm not covered by this. So actually, there was all this joy and happiness. And I was just sat there with like all these messages rolling in on my phone of like all my workmates being delighted and overjoyed, all my mates in the other group chat, and I was just sat there thinking, fuck, I've been completely fucked over here. It was hard. Such a roller coaster. So I messaged my boss and I said, look, I'm not covered here. It's like a real kick in the teeth that I'd been fired and now they were going to come and rescue everyone who had a job. But she messaged back and she said, don't worry, we're on it. We're going to get you out of this. So yeah, they're going to work on it this weekend and see if they can effectively rehire me so that I am covered. It's just such a roller coaster. I think I'm exhausted from all of this. It's kind of hit me now, mentally, physically. Just the most surreal thing. But I do know it's going to be alright, and there is a way out at the end of this. And I'm just finding myself, and Layla as well, find ourselves dreaming of when we finally get to Lombok and that life of living on a tropical island and, you know, building something together and having those moments where you can go for a swim and enjoy a sunset on the beach. That keeps me going, it really does. I think, given what the government said tonight about the schools are locked down now, they're all shut, gyms are shut, they've ordered the restaurants and bars all to shut, everything's shutting down. We're in this for the long haul, and this is really just the beginning. I don't know how long this lasts, and I don't know how it affects my plans. It's Friday night anyway, so having a beer, fajitas. Me and Layla are just going to hang out and watch a film, and then I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. And then we just take it day by day. So yeah, I'll see you soon, whenever that may be. Yeah. There's a long way to go in this.